Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to another Ancient Empires faction overview. Today we are doing yet another developer favorite. This is one that I plan on doing for a while now. I do really like the Kingdom of Kush, but Will, he was one of the developers of the mod. He reached out to me and said, dude, when are you going to do the Kingdom of Kush? Because I absolutely love them. I'm like, you know what, I think I'll bump these guys up the list that I have, and we will showcase them as soon as possible. Doing it just for the devs because they were allowed me to have access, so I definitely will do things for these guys because they have done an absolutely amazing job building this mod, and I cannot wait to see what else they come up with. So let's get down to the Kingdom of Kush. Right off the bat, what I want to mention is a lot of these units, especially the ranged, I don't know of every single one of the ranged units, but most, if not all, have the poison ability. Now, this isn't something we've seen in any of the factions in Ancient Empires yet, but let's take a look and see what it does. It does have a higher base reload time, poison arrows for 10 seconds, do -2 morale, -10 melee offense, minus 10% melee offense, -10% melee defense, and -20% speed. So that's pretty epic. I mean, that really is pretty epic. And if you get a whole bunch of these units together, all firing poison arrow, it can be absolutely deadly to the enemy. I kind of have an enemy that I want to fight against, wink wink. We'll see if it happens, whether it happened historically or not. I really just want to see if that certain enemy could route just from poison arrows. I don't know. I may think about it and may or may not do it. So let's break it right down into generals. We have Kushite Warlord. This is a tier 3 melee infantry. Now, these guys are going to be pretty sweet. They do have a charge value of only 2, melee offense of 10, melee offense of 9, armor value at 7, and morale at 13. But they do have that poison arrow, so they are a melee infantry unit, but they are also not just ranged, like archer ranged. So they're going to be pretty good there. Next up, we have Kushite Royal Guard. Excellent morale, excellent armor value. That is true. Charge value of 5, melee offense, defense, and armor of 12, which is all going to be pretty souped up, and a morale rating of 15. Next up, we have Kushite Royal Cab. These guys are actually pretty stinking heavy melee cab. They have a charge value of 8, melee offense of 8, melee defense of 10, armor value of 12, and a morale of 15. These guys are going to be pretty heavy duty. They're going to pack a pretty heavy punch. And then we have a special unit. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just going to throw it out there and hope that I get close to the spot. I know I won't, but we're going to go with Kor Akmani. That's probably grossly incorrect, but it'll work for now. If someone can phonetically tell me the name, I will be more than happy and appreciative. So this guy is absolutely stacked, I might mention. He has a charge value of 5, and a melee offense rating of 13, melee defense of 18, armor value at 12, and a morale of 16. This dude is epic. He has a charge defense versus cav, he's immune to fear, he's resistant to heat, they can hide in force, he's inspired his allies, and he is disciplined. So, last but not least, for these guys, we have Kushite Tower Elephants. These guys are pretty absolutely terrifying. They also have the poison ability. Let's see, they have a missile range of 220, which is ridiculous. A charge value of 22. Melee offense of 13, melee defense of 8, and a morale of 11. So, absolutely epic. These guys also cost 2,100 apiece, so they're going to be kind of difficult to fund completely. Moving down to Spear Infantry, we have Southern Spear Levies. These guys are actually pretty decent tier 1 light spearmen. Charge value of 4, melee offense of 7, melee defense of 11, armor value at 4, and a morale at 6. Means that they are just going to be some pretty solid tier 1 troops, to be honest. Moving up, we got Kushite Levies. There really isn't a whole lot of difference. A little lower charge value, lower melee offense, higher melee defense, better armor, and better morale. That's about it, though. And they actually are not resistant to fatigue. These guys aren't. These guys can hide and scrub in forest, and they're resistant to heat, whereas these guys are just resistant to heat and can hide in forest. Last but not least, we have the Kushite Militia. These guys are actually just going to be a little bit more buffed. Basically, a higher melee offense, higher melee defense, higher armor, and a higher morale. Not to mention, they can form the Brace Spears. They are expert charge defense discipline. They're resistant to heat and decent charge. Really good charge versus cavalry. Now here's where it really gets cool. We have Southern African Warriors. These dudes look really, really cool in battle, and I'm going to put at least 1 or 2 of these units in there just so you can kind of see how they look. I just really enjoy how the Kushites look and just their abilities, basically. So I'm definitely excited to put these guys in here. They're not that bad, to be honest. They're kind of sort of on the scale of Galatians, like mercenary Galatians, but they are still pretty good like melee troops. They have a charge value of 4, melee offense of 9, melee defense of 8, armor value at 8, and a morale at 8, or armor value of 4, excuse me. So while their armor isn't that great, they are pretty solid in battle, and they will hold the line for at least a little bit. Next up, we have Kushite Warriors. These guys are basically only going to have a higher charge value, really. They actually, and then a little higher melee defense. Nothing really too exciting, to be honest. I would rather have these Southern African Warriors than have these Kushite Warriors, to be completely honest. Next up, we have Kushites Swordsmen. Now, these guys are pretty cool. They have a charge value of only 3, melee offense of 8, though, a melee defense of 14, which is pretty crazy for some melee infantry. Armor value at 6 and a morale of 8, so pretty solid Kushite Swordsmen, to be honest, and they would be pretty useful in battle. Next, we have Kushite Nobles. Now, these guys are really interesting because they are a melee infantry unit, but they can also shoot the bow and arrow, which also means that they have the poison attack ability. So they only have a charge value of 2, which really isn't that great. They have a melee offense of 9, melee defense of 11, which is good. Armor values at 7, but morale is at 13. These guys are going to be some pretty sweet units. And then last but not least, we have Kushai Royal Guard, which is one of the general's units. So charge value 5, melee offense, defense, and armor at 12, and a morale at 15. Let's take a look at bow infantry. We have Southern Archer Levies. These guys have a decently high ammunition rating. Ranged offense is at 3, which is slightly better, or yeah, slightly better than most troops. Their missile range is very, very poor at 110. They have a very poor charge value. Melee offense is on par. Melee defense is pretty poor. They have not great amount of armor, and their morale is only at 6. Not really something you want to use, especially considering that they don't have the poison attack ability. Next up, Kushite Levite archers. These guys are just going to be a little better, going to have much higher range. The ranged offense is a little better, and they just have kind of some padded stats just a little bit. Nothing really to distinguish them above these Southern Archer Levies. And then last but not least, we have Kushai Bowmen. These guys have the poison attack ability. They are resistant to heat. They ignore terrain. They don't tire as easily, etc., etc. They have an ammunition of 23, ranged offense of 6, which is really good for light bow infantry. Charge value of 2, which is pretty par for bow infantry units. Melee offense of 7, melee defense of 9, armor value at 4, morale at 8 means they're going to be some pretty solid troops which could engage in battle if they needed to, but they wouldn't last that long. Down into melee, we have 2 types of melee cav. We have Kushite Noble Cavalry. These guys are actually going to be pretty good units. Charge value at 8, which is really good. They have a melee offense of 7, melee defense of 9, armor value at 7, and a morale of 13. These guys are pretty legit. And then we have Kushite Royal Cab, which are essentially going to be super padded in the armor division, but about everything else is just about a 1 or 2 up. But 3 per army, 4 per army, we could definitely do it. And then we have some Kushite Light Cab. These guys have not a great amount of ammunition, but they do have a very high ranged offensive attack. Their missile range is capped at 80, which again is pretty typical for skirmisher cav. Melee offense at 6, melee defense of 11, which is really, really good. Armor value at 7 and a morale at 11 means it's going to be pretty solid light skirmisher cav. And then last but not least, we have African War Elephants, a charge value of 19, melee offense of 13, melee defense of 8, and a morale of 10. Or we can go gung-ho and get Kushite Tower Elephants, which you saw was one of the general's units. So again, there are a lot of really solid units in this battle, and or in this faction itself. And I'm very excited to test them and see how they do. So guys, you know the drill. I will see you on the battlefield. Alright everybody, let's get down to this battle, and as you can see, we are playing in the shadow of the Great Pyramids. I thought this was kind of appropriate place, especially considering that we are playing the Ptolemaic Kingdom. Look at that. Oh man, okay, so we're going to actually have to pause because I feel like they're probably just going to charge right into me. Maybe not. We'll run through it just real quick, make sure what we got, and then we'll show off everything else. We have some Kushite Spearmen, or Kushite Militia, right here in the middle. These guys are pretty sweet looking. I don't know how effective they're going to be, but they are pretty cool looking, and that is truly what matters in most of the case. I'm kind of like nervous right now, because I don't want to wait too long, but I'm also hoping that they will come and attack me. Over here we have Southern African Warriors. These dudes look really, really cool. Like, I really enjoy the detail that these guys have. It makes it look really, really unique and really brings out the Kushites in general. Just that different kind of war paint on, things of that nature. And plus, it looks really epic with those elephants in the background. Over here on our left flank, we have some Kushite Swordsmen. These guys are really, really cool looking as well. Like, they really just did a really good job with these guys. Let's just get this little sunset picture. I really like that. And so we'll see how well they do in battle as well. Over here in the middle, we have Core Arkmani. Look at that dude. Yeah, that's right, dude. He is epic looking. They did a very good job on him, and it does look like we're going to have to pause it. I didn't want to, but we don't have a choice. Yeah, because we're already shooting, which that looks really cool as well. Let me just... There we go. I like it. Anyways, so we now shooting behind us are 5 units of Kushite nobles. I decided to bring all 5 of them, or 4 of them. I have 4 of them. 4 out of the 5 because I really want to just... I don't want them to be overpowered, but I still want them to enjoy, or to look good and to really enjoy the units themselves. So hopefully those poison attacks don't just do too much. In fact, they're not even on poison at the moment. But as you can see, our Kushite Tower elephants, which look absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Absolutely gorgeous. I really, really like how they look. Just in general, they all are very heavily armored. Very, very nice looking. But yeah, they're already shooting because their range is actually really, really high too, which is pretty cool because most of the elephants aren't. Anyways, over here on our left flank, we have 3 units of Kushai Bowmen, which again look really good. I just really love how these guys look. They really do look fantastic. I really enjoy it. After seeing so many factions of a certain culture and things of that nature, it's good to see the Kushites really bring out themselves. We have some Kushite Light Cab, which are going to be our light skirmishers. These guys do look really, really cool as well. Their horses are really sweet. I'm sure the horses are the same in like every faction, but I don't know. I feel like they're doing pretty good work with that. Let's see what else we got behind us. We got some Kushai Royal Cab. These guys look really cool. I really like the red thing that almost looks Chinese right there. I like that a lot. And then over here we have some Kushite Noble Cav. Very, very nice. And then of course our Kushite Tower Elephants. I don't know that I'm missing anyone else. That I mentioned the Kushite Royal Guard. I think I did. Overall, these guys all look really, really good. And let's go ahead and start the battle. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. That looks cool. Yeah, this may be a little OP. Poison attacks may be OP. At least when you're spamming. Now, of course, in the real game, you're not really going to be able to afford all of these units at once. This is, of course, just the custom map. And that is one thing I want to mention. I know a lot of people were like, well, if this is the only units that such and such faction gets, then I don't want to play as them because they will suck. And I really only want to play as Rome or Carthage or one of those factions that have really fleshed out troops. Well, the kicker is, guys, this is custom battle only that I am talking about. That doesn't mean that it's going to be in the campaign like that. There's going to be other factors in the campaign that are going to dictate that sort of stuff. So don't feel like just because you don't see a lot of certain units in a faction that they're not going to be worth it, because they will be worth it. You just have to be patient. So we're going to work on those archers. And then work on those peltasts as well. I'm not so much concerned about those. I'm more concerned about pikemen. And then their heavy picked Mashiomi. Makamoy or whatever we want to call it. Let's go ahead and bring our cav into here. And then I'm actually going to draw... We're going to do this number. Skirmisher on skirmisher. Actually, those are not skirmisher cav. And there we go. Oh, wow. Why are these guys routing? I guess because they're light troops. Go here. And now that the lines have clashed, we're going to get into some slow motion. What is this madness? Who's throwing these? Oh, my word. I don't even know what those are. Patilius, will someone tell me what the crap these guys are throwing? Because they look like big giant sticks. Are they big giant sticks? Because that's what they look like. What the crap, man. That is like the most insane thing I think I've ever seen in my life. No idea what just happened. Are they throwing them too? They are throwing them too. Let's get some screenshots of that. I don't know, whatever it is, they are absolutely wrecking them. Throw another volley. Or don't. Are you all out? Here we go again. Oh, this looks really gorgeous. Looks like those guys have routed. We're about to take a really nasty charge from these guys. Collapse on them. I'm going to bring these guys here just so I can get a really good cinematic looking shot. So hopefully everything stays there. Haven't even engaged my elephants yet. Look at that. I guess I could take this off for now. We could really take a look. I guess you can't really... I don't know if you guys see when I put that graphic overlay on or not. Leave it in the comments if you do, because that way I know whether you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing or vice versa. Alright, now we put this back on. And then we take some sweet screenshots. Oh, there we go. That looks gorgeous. Let's get up close to here. Get into the thick of it. Oh, they got wrecked. Those pikemen are doing a number on them. Okay, let's rip out of the graphic image overlay. Start collapsing on people. You guys are going there. Like I said, I really have no idea what's going on. I've been focusing so much on just getting some good shots in. Go here. You guys go there. And I'm still in slow-mo, by the way, so if you're wondering why things are still moving slow, it's not lag, it is just, I still am in that slow speed. Oh my word, this is gorgeous. I wonder if it looks better from the other side. Oh, there we go. You don't really get that super cinematic shot of the... I guess you do. Oh my word, that's amazing. I mean, just look at that. That is really... That's a big battlefield right there. Okay, now it's time to get down to dirty business. I feel like I've done a really good enough job, and it looks like we've got a whole unit of these guys taken out. Not paying attention at all. But now, oh, let's get into regular play mode, I guess. They're collapsing that column on me. Let's see. Oh, there's only one unit left of these guys. Okay. Now it's time to bring in my reinforcements. Plug up that right there. We're going to do a war cry right there in the middle. And I still have my Kushite nobles, which can push in, which is the best part about all of this, really. And then we're going to do this. Oh, this is going to be epic. This is going to be the best part about this whole thing. And it looks like we could still lose. I'm going to pursue their Agima Cav General because reasons, obviously. What are you doing? Kushite nobles. There's really not a way to get around at the moment. So we kind of have to wait. Let's get you two guys. Let's get you two guys.
Yeah.
That was a little weird. That shouldn't be going on. Someone just followed me on Twitch. And it was caught during this battle. That's funny. Alright, so those lines are routing. Oh my. Let's get into here. Get my general into here as well. And then this is what I've been waiting for. Don't rout yet, boys. Or do rout. We could lose this. I mean, there's really a very high probability. But I think with these guys charging in, we shouldn't have to worry about it. Alright, so we plow through those guys. Those guys are going to get wrecked. I'm really more concerned about them plowing into here. Here we go. There you go, gorge them. Look, those tusks are bloodied. There you go, just push your way through. Oh yeah, there we go. Wave those tusks around. Alright, now we'll hit play again. Very nice, very nice. These guys are plunging into the back and not doing a whole lot. Let's go back here. I'm spending too much time not microing. I'm spending too much time trying to get shots when I really just need to kill people. So we got some good shots. Oh wow, their entire flank just routed. Well, of course, because I mean there's elephants. I would too. Honestly, I would entirely rout if there's a big, huge thing of elephants coming at me. I mean, let's just be honest here. Get a nice little charge in the back of these picked Makamoy. There we go. Now that should cause him to rout pretty soon, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and surround these guys. Elephants and Cav, you will pursue to ensure a full rout. You guys will actually shoot into here, and these Agima pikemen. You guys are doing work. Let's go ahead and get this dude on those peltasts. You're going here. You're going to go here. Boom! Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. We still had a lot of our own troops routing. But these Agima pikemen are going to rout. There we go. That's the end of the battle. That was a heroic victory. Absolutely heroic. Alright, so I didn't even go over how many people were in this battle. We had just under 10,000. We had 9,978. So guys, I do hope you enjoyed that battle. I really enjoyed it. I feel like we got some good cinematic shots for it. We got some good combat in there. We really got to show off the Kingdom of Kush and how deadly they can be with all their poison arrows. Now, of course, those were some high-tiered units, so I don't think from the get-go you're going to have this OP faction where everyone can use poison arrows. I don't think that's the case, but regardless, it will still be pretty good. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Havoc, and I'm out of here. Peace!